Hey YouTube, this is TCA Gaming. We have the second part of those PSA returns, and then at the end I'm going to do a little pack opening. It's not going to be Wizards of the Coast. I'm actually going to open up some Team Up booster packs just because I really like this set, and I know a lot of you on here actually do watch me for some of the new products content, and there's some kids on here as well who like this stuff, so I want to make sure that I'm addressing all of my viewers, and I really enjoy this set too. I mean, it's got some really cool full arts. Maybe we'll pull something good, but we'll save that for the very end. For now, we're going to go through some PSA stuff. Here we've got mostly first edition non-holos. I didn't do that good on them. Usually I get a lot of 10s when it comes to first edition base set non-holos, but I got a lot of 8s and a lot of 9s. Now that Dragonair, it was probably the most expensive card that you've seen so far. It's about $80, $90 card, ungraded in mint condition. I think I'm asking more than what other people are asking at like 190 bucks or something for my PSA 9. In which at the time I listed that was actually the cheapest one, but the prices have really come down on the first edition non-holographic stuff, mainly because there's a lot of people who invested in it and they tried flipping their stuff, and so instead of sitting on it like they were a collector, they've the prices have dipped because people are just saturating the market. Like there's really a lot of this stuff out there. Here's one of the few gem mint 10s that I did get from the non-holos in the base set. But for those of you who watch SM Pratt, you know that you could basically find any mint 9, common or uncommon, just about any of them anyways, for 20 bucks. Sometimes 30 bucks, if you're talking about a starter or something. But even like Gem Mint 10 commons, there's some of them you can find for $20. And that's just crazy, because if you think about it, you got to be submitting on a bulk submission to get to that kind of price value, to where the grading submission doesn't even already outweigh the entire cost of the card. Of course, there's a lot of people out there who remember when you could submit PSA cards for $5 or less, and you had to submit a lot of stuff, but that can really make a difference when you're submitting hundreds and hundreds of cards at a time. Well, there goes that one. We have a War Turtle there, 8. It's one of the toughest ones to get a 10 in. I'm still working on my 10. Both Bulbasaur and Caterpie, those are both pretty tough to get a 10 in as well. Somebody was just asking me about if I had the starters and Pikachu all in Mint 9. And I told them I did not have a Charmander, but it looks like I do. So that'll be going into my back stock very soon. I'm kind of mixed on whether or not I should be selling these Gem Mint 10s and the first edition non-holos, even the 9s. I've got a fairly large back stock just because I don't really enjoy seeing these cards go for $20 free shipping. I mean, I'm already losing out about $3 or $4 on the shipping end of it, just the postage, and then you got eBay fees and PayPal fees, then what you put into the card. I mean, you're not really making that much money off of really truly mint cards. Let me put these up right here. Many cases, I mean, you can open up a booster pack. I mean, you guys can attest to what you've seen on my channel, and a lot of the cards won't be Gem Mint 10. So so far we've got 3 Gem Mint 10s total out of all the non-holographic first edition cards we pulled. And that is a Red Cheeks. Pikachu pulled the 8.5, one of my least favorite grades. Looking at the edges, I mean, it's a pretty strong 8.5. I'll say that. And, I'm glad that PSA is going in the direction of being more strict rather than less strict with grades, because then that would really saturate up the market with just 10s, and it would take that premium away. But I do understand why they've become more strict, especially with people who are being more who are complaining about the cards and trying to get their money back. Say, like if they graded this a Gem Mint 10, I sold it to somebody and they bought it for $50 or something like that. And then whoever gets it, they get this card and they're like, well, there's obvious white damage right there. It should not be a Gem Mint 10. Well, PSA would have to pay out that difference in the price, so they have to be really strict. And so I understand it. I don't like their upcharge policy. That to me doesn't make any sense. If they're going to do that, then they should at least do the research before they grade the card. And if it's a raw card value that is appropriate, like like SM Pratt said, with the Typhlosion, I mean, a PSA 9 in that card, I mean, you could probably find for $100, $200. I mean, it should be in the bulk range, raw. And then if it gets a PSA 10, then it jumps way up in value. So the only reason that it's super high value is because it's hard to get a PSA 10 in. But something like a first edition Charizard, as a raw card, it's already over $1,000. So it should not be in the bulk pile. I mean, it's obviously not a 99 or under card. So here's something that was weird. I haven't seen many of these before. I got a 7.5. I mean, I'll let you look at it. I mean, I've rarely, I mean, 8.5s are pretty rare, but then to get a 7.5, I'm not sure why they would do that on a card that's not very valuable. I understand it for cards that are more highly valuable because that half a point of grade can really make a difference. But on something like that, a Weedle, where it's really not that expensive, then I don't understand the 7.5 stuff, or why they're adding more of those in there. I would rather see, you know, a breakdown of, you know, kind of like with BGS, the way they used to list the 4 different areas that they grade on, and then give an overall grade. But I don't think PSA will ever come around to that, because then that's going to make these Gem Mint 10s, the old Gem Mint 10s, a lot different than the new ones. It might do the same thing with the 9s too. Super energy removal on the 9. I was hoping to get a 10 on that Lass. Many of you know Lass is a pretty tough 10. That's most of the first edition on holos, I believe. So we're going to jump into some Wizards of the Coast holos now. So I had a lot of Dark Charizards graded. I've had pretty good luck with getting 10s on these in the past. Not so much on this submission. I did get some good grades. I got a 9, got an 8, got another 8. And then there's one of those 7.5s. I'll take it because I don't have a 7.5 in Dark Charizard. Those of you who are with me at the con, you know I have a lot of first edition holographic Dark Charizards. It's one of my favorite cards. I think that it represents Wizards of the Coast fairly well. There's another 9, then there's another 9 again. I think that should be it for the Dark Charizards. Got a Dark Hypno. Well, we'll leave the Dark Charizards in the background. Magneton pulled a 7. It deserved a 7. I just sent it in. You never know. That's a tough 10. Got a 9 on the Slowbro. 8 on the Vileplume. That is a holo Weezing. Sometimes it was tough to tell on those. Got Here Comes Team Rocket with the 9. Rocket Sneak Attack with the 9. Then we're going into some base regular holographics. Now here's a 6. And this is a pretty rough grade for a 6. I mean, that's about the gist of the damage that I see. That little white dot right there. So why I got the 6? Maybe it was something on one of these corners I didn't see. It's really something that the grader would have to assess when the card is raw. You can't see cards fairly well inside the case, but you can't see them as well as the grader who had it outside of the case. Got Chansey. Got another Charizard with a 7. Clefairy. Shifted off to the right. Gyarados. Like I said, these Wizards of the Coast holos, they were really rough on. I didn't do well at all, but I'll still take the 9s. I like them. Sometimes you have really good submissions, sometimes you don't. But that's another reason you don't want to always submit everything at once. Say if you have, 20 Dark Charizards, it's good to kind of spread it out. That way, if you do have a good submission, that's great. You can capitalize on that one. But more than likely, if you send them all in, you're going to have one of those bad submissions. And then you'll be stuck with all that extra grading money that you sent out. Gotta say, Jungle Holo 6. That'll probably be up on eBay for about $11.99. I'm gonna lose money on it for sure. Jolteon, still like the Jolteons. Look really nice. I know why Jim at Pokemon collects that one. Mr. Mime, Nidoqueen, lots of 7s, lots of 8s. Even a few of these 6s creeping through here and there. Not many 9s on the jungle stuff. There's a Vaporeon, another 6 on a Venomoth. And really, I had these in my personal sets. So I thought they were pretty good. But man, 6, 7. Got an 8. 7.5. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Got a Shining Celebi here. This is a pretty good grade. Got a mint 9 on that. I actually bought that off of somebody for, I think, 60 bucks. This is just a regular Mew. It's not the Gata. Did pull the Gem Mint 10. I wouldn't have sent those. I wouldn't have sent that card in if I didn't think it could get a 10. Got a 10 on that Meryl. Next up, we have some first edition Jungle Holos, and it's going to be kind of the same story with them. 6, 7, 8. I probably averaged like out an 8 at most, or probably less than that. Probably averaged out about a 7, between a 7 and an 8. There's one of the rare 9s for Flareon. We'll stick him in the background. Jolteon, another 8 for the first edition. Got a 6 on this Kangaskhan. 8. Pulled a 7 on that Nidoqueen. 8 on the Pidgeot. Most of these, even though they're first edition holographic, with 8 or less, you're probably looking at about 20, 25 bucks max. Some of these are going to be even less than that with the 7s and the 6s. Vaporeon, I don't know if I'm going to be able to add any of these to my personal collection, unless I just didn't have any sitting in there. One of those weird 8.5s, 9 on the Vileplume, 8 on the Wigglytuff, and then should have been at the top, but we've got an unlimited Clefable, 7.5. Got a little white dot down there. And then last but not least, for the PSA part of the video, we have a Krabby, which is the broken footprint fossil symbol. So this is the error one. This one, the value on it could be as low as 50 bucks, as high as 500. You know, I've seen some people even ask over $1,000, but really we have no idea. This is an error that kind of just recently surfaced in the community. Relatively recent anyways, I'd say, compared to everything else that's been sorted through so many times. But now let's check out these packs, see what we have. Maybe we'll pull us something nice. There's a white code card pack. It's 1, 2, 3, and then plus the energy. Maybe we'll pull some full art. Wouldn't that be cool? Farfetch, Tentacruel, Evelyn, Execute, Larvitar, Meowth, Nidoran, Mareep. Got a reverse holo Bronzong, which ironically somebody just told me today that I sent them a Bronzor instead of a Bronzong, and I didn't have one of these on my back stock. So now I can go back to them and say, hey, I can fix your order. And we got some Mr. Mime GX, really cool. So we only got 4 packs here, but we actually got us a GX in one of them. It's not a great GX by any means, but nevertheless, we got us one. Not sure if people will play with that one. Look, we got us another white code card pack. Upside down, regular. Oh, I can't remember if I showed this one or not. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's another Metal Energy. Flaffy, Ammonite, Tauros, Alolan Geodude, Bronzor, Dratini, Tentacool, Ponyta, Reverse Holo Dratini. GX is back to back in Incineroar. That one's pretty cool. I know we sold out of this one really quickly at the beginning of the set release, so I don't know if it's playable or not, but I know kids really like it because it's got 250 HP. Incineroar. Wow, look, a third white code card. Man, 1, 2, 3, 4. I doubt we'll get another GX. So we got Torracat, Jinx, Hitmonlee, Honedge, Nidoran, Magikarp, Poochyena, another Geodude, Pokemon Communication, that's pretty good for Dex, and then we've got a Holo Zoroark. Man. 3 for 3, and we still have one more pack to go. Let's see what we can get out of that. Oh, but there's the code. I'm not sure I showed that one last time. We'll still check out, see what rare we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a Fairy Energy, Nanu, another Hitmonlee, anything cool. I think there's 2 different Alolan Geodudes. Got a Reverse Holo Jinx and a Parasect. Pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Still got one more PSA video to do, and then I'll try to open up a few more of these team up packs at the very end of it. Thanks, guys.